Hello, everyone. This is Hydro here, the producer. We got the host, Darrell. We got Christopher. We got Mr. Anderson, aka the Flash. We're just going to go with that. Uh, uh, we got a lot to discuss today, especially the first subject that we are going to be discussing today that Darrell cannot get off his mind or anything. he messaged me last night just to let me know about one thing, and it was about yeah. So I'm gonna let you have it right now. Go ahead.
So what happened last night was Alex Boom, or however you say his last name, tagged from third, was coming home. Marcelo Zuna guns him down at the plate. He slides the home plate. Nothing touches the plate at all. No arm, no leg, nothing. And the umpire calls him safe 3 inches off the home plate. Now you tell me how he is safe after being tagged out at home plate. Thoughts? What do y'all think?
Chris, do you want to take it or you want me to take it first?
I'll take it because I seen it too. It was and they challenged it, and it was held up. Reason why they do that is because baseball don't like two teams, and that's the Yankees and the Braves. Because this is the third blown call on Atlanta. Don't even get me started on the Holbrook playoff infield fly thing. Okay, Mr. Anderson, go.
I got to thinking about this today, D. I understand where I'm coming from. If the bullpen doesn't blow the lead, then that play never happens. Am I on to something, Chris?
You could be.
If the bullpen holds up, the back of that bullpen holds up, then Alex never gets the chance to score because the game ends at the bottom of the ninth.
But the problem is he did not score. He didn't even touch home plate.
But what I'm saying is if the bullpen shuts the Phillies down after Acuna hits that home run, then he never gets an at bat. And this reminds me of something that happened in the mid-'90s with Chipper Jones at Tropicana Field. The infield foul rule.
Well, we changing the subject a minute. It's still the same. Seems like Freddie Freeman's waking up. He drove 3 in Saturday. Finally, all Major League Baseball teams have a no-hitter on them. The San Diego Padres, Joe Musgrove, did it Friday night. So all Major League Baseball teams now have at least one no-hitter in their history.
And don't forget, No Joe did it for his hometown team. He was born and raised in San Diego.
Is there any Yankee fans on here?
Not besides me.
Joe's watching.
Hey, Mr. Anderson, did you read the David Wells is not going to a baseball game or watching a baseball game anymore because they moved the game out of Atlanta?
I was never a David fan, so it didn't bother me less. Like I put in one of my Yankees chats, listen, I'm a Yankees fan, but there are players, and I'm going to give you a list of players I absolutely despise in pinstripes. Alex Rodriguez is at the very top of that list.
Yeah.
David Wells and Roger Clemens.
I'll get to A-Rod in a minute when I go to basketball. But the Diamondback speedster, Tim LaCastro, sets a major league record with his 28 straight steal. He's 28 for 28 to start his career in steals.
I told you, when they gave that man a chance to play, they would not regret it. I told you.
I think the issue I'm having
You can't stop him. He's a speed demon. There's not one in Major League Baseball that will catch up to Tim LeCastro.
There is somebody. And this is coming from a guy that liked his daddy, the Lionel DeShield Jr.
I don't know. Shields don't like to run that much, but I think he might. But
DeShield doesn't like to run, but when he runs, he doesn't get caught.
LeCastro, he's perfect.
Here's a couple of players that are going to miss some time. Angels Fowler out for the season after tearing ACL.
Remember back in Dexter's days?
Cabrera on IL with the bicep strain. And let me get back to A-Rod. A-Rod and Lore are poised to buy the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Minnesota Lynx.
One of them will be moved.
Which one do you think will be moved? The Wolves?
They'll be moved to either Vegas or Seattle.
Seattle's already got a WNBA team.
But they need their big team back. That should have never left them in the first place.
Talking about Seattle should have never went to Oklahoma City.
Yes.
I agree with that. What do you think, D?
He's a little young to understand. I'm not picking on your age right here, D.
Hey, Justin, you cut him off. I explained to him about Seattle. He knows about Peyton and Rain Man.
Okay.
And Durant was the last Seattle Sonic.
It could work, but then again, who knows? But we just have to see as time progresses on whether it works or not. To be honest with you.
Quick football news, Mr. Anderson. Edelman retired today.
That's the other piece of news I was going to get to. But TB12 just got another weapon.
Who did you get this on?
Giovanni Bernard. On a one-year
signed
deal.
With Tampa?
Yes, on a one-year deal. And they're going to utilize him as a receiving back primarily.
Oh.
So he's not going to actually run the ball. He's going to be more of a receiver.
Hey, Chris.
Yo.
We were talking about Thaddeus Moss earlier today.
Oh, yes. Randy Moss's son got cut by Washington.
And he went to Cincinnati with his old quarterback.
He hasn't signed with anybody yet.
Yes, he has.
He went back to Cincinnati. He went with Burrow.
They claimed him off waivers. They just got to work out the deal.
Could you see another LSU player from the draft getting drafted by the Bengals?
They need Pitts more than they need Chase.
Honestly.
Okay.
Honestly, I see Kyle Pitts falling way out of the top 10.
No, somebody's going to trade up with Atlanta. And I bet you Cincinnati's going to move up at least 2 spots.
Okay.
Pitts is okay. Chris, I got a question. Can you remember the last tight end that ran a sub 4.5 or sub 4? Sub 4.5 at the 40.
Was that Gates?
Mm-hmm. He ran a 4.45 and then reran it 20 years later and ran a 4.5. And they were saying Pitts is a generational tight end. The last one that got that moniker was Gronk. But there is a lot of rumor going around that the Falcons may trade down from Ford.
Okay, and did you hear that Donaldson got traded to the Panthers?
Yeah, Sam Donald's a Panther.
That's a really good fit because their coach. And here's something I look at. For the first time in his career, he's going to have weapons.
But the problem is they're also predicting Carolina to pick Justin Fields up at
No,
pick number 8.
Fields won't be there. He'll probably go home to Atlanta, and he'll sit 2 years.
I don't think so because San Francisco traded up and got the number 3 thing, and they were ironing Justin Fields awful hard too.
I think Fields.
You'd be crazy to give up good talent like Justin Fields. You would be crazy.
Well, and here's the other thing you got to watch. That second round pick, Urban Meyer, is kind of leaning toward reconnecting that Clemson backfield with ETN.
Yeah.
And Drew, the NCAA world champion Mac Jones or whatever his name is, he's not predicted to go until number 12. He's not predicted to go until 12. He's not even a top 1 pick.
So you got to look at the way the positions are. You got your top 2 QBs that are Fields and Lawrence. And we lost Justin.
Fields and Lawrence are 1 and 2, easy. And then you got that kid from North Dakota State that's actually pretty good too at 3.
Yeah.
I think ETN, when whoever gets ETN is going to have one hell of a running back.
But Travis, the problem with ETN is he's got to find the right system.
I see him going to Philly easily.
Philly's not completely out of the running to drafting a quarterback. That was made clear by the new general manager.
You think because Patriots quarterback?
If Fields falls, they'll trade up and get Fields because they're supposed to trade with Atlanta.
I don't see Fields going down past 2 or 3. I really don't.
He'll be the 4th off the board because the top 3 picks have already been decided. Lawrence at 1. Well, we know the top 2 have. And Wilson at 2.
I don't know 1.
Zach Wilson's going to New York. That's been finalized.
It hasn't been finalized yet. Zach Wilson.
They're not going to draft Justin Fields. They're not drafting Justin Fields because they want from everything. It's kind of their coach has a really good running back in Josh Adams, who didn't get utilized because of a gun-happy head coach who I think intentionally threw Darnold out of New York by not putting an offensive line in front of him. And
so do you think if he has a chance to play his old team, the Jets, he's going to come out and lock them up like a Christmas tree?
They play this year. Panthers and Jets play. I think we'll get. I'm not going to call it just that, but I think with Matt Rule and Joe Brady, we're looking at the next superstar quarterback. Because Brady has a way, if he can do, because Darnold's just basically 1 notch below what Joe Burrow was in college. They both of them. One was on a really good team that had a great coaching staff, and one was on a decent team that had a horrible coaching staff. So I really think that we're looking at something with Darnold, where 1, a change of scenery, 2 coaches that really have bought into him, and a system where he has weapons. They're not going to be a threat to Tampa this year. But give Carolina 2 years and give them an offensive line and keep McCaffrey healthy.
That's the main key because he has been injured the last couple of years.
And they're also the Panthers are also looking at ETN to pair up with McCaffrey in the
Well,
backfield.
here's the whole problem with Sam Darnold. He has already proven it with the Jets, and he will prove it with the Carolina Panthers. He is a bust.
No, he's not, D. He wasn't given the weapons around him or an offensive line. There's a difference. If he would have had an offensive line, he could have went. Say he goes to New. I'm going to use New England, Chris. New England has that offensive line. Say Darnold goes to New England and doesn't produce, then he could be called a bust. But again, no offensive line in New York and no weapons. In the last 3 years, they've traded a superstar player every offseason.
Dude, it's still proven, man. He couldn't do nothing in New York when you had Robbie Anderson.
He had no weapons. Robbie at best was number 2. No offensive line. No, there wasn't. If you look at that receiver
in the league, and Le'Veon Bell.
Bell got relieved.
You're crazy.
Hey, I'm gonna put my comment on this one. They set him up to fail so they can move him out.
Just like the Bears set Mitchell up to fail.
I don't understand where you two are coming from when you have like the best running back period in the game right now, and Le'Veon Bell behind Sam Darnold.
Bell
and you have Robbie Anderson.
Bell's with Kansas City. When that new general manager took over, he cleaned house, and he got rid of every player that had a bad attitude.
If that was the case, then he didn't get rid of Mahomes.
No, I was talking New York.
The Kansas City's starting to clear some stuff out too. I don't think they like the attitudes either.
Well, here's the problem. If Kansas City gets rid of Patrick Mahomes, they're setting themselves up to fail. Big time.
I don't see him getting rid of Mahomes. The key thing coming up, though, I think Kelsey and Hill, aren't they free agents after next year?
Any team could get Tyreek Hill. Any team.
No, not any. As he's already said, he's going to say he wants that big money deal. He's not going to take a pay cut. Tyreek Hill is all about the money.
Just curious, you two, when he does go free agent, you think Tampa makes a play at him?
No, Kelsey maybe, yes. But Tyreek, he's asking for OBJ money.
He's asking for big time pay.
Well, honestly, Tyreek hadn't done much to get that kind of money.
Now, here's what I do. Call me crazy. If I was in Andy Reid's position, I look at Tyreek Hill and say, you're playing running back because you can change the game at more than one position. And we can list you at running back and receiver. And then, no,
Tyreek Hill is receiver. You cannot change a position of a player.
Yes, you can.
And all Tyreek has to say is no. I'm a receiver. Bye. I'm gonna go play my position.
No.
And then if he gets that, no team will sign him.
He knows he's got more value to the Chiefs if he plays running back and receiver. But as a receiver, I hate to say it, he's not even top. To me, he's not in that top tier. He's like Odell. He's nothing but ego.
But yet he's the fastest receiver in the league.
I have to disagree with you on that one, Justin. He is top tier.
He is the fastest receiver in the league. Bottom line.
Yeah, he might be the fastest, but that doesn't mean he's the best.
Until you run into two high safeties, then he can't do anything over the top. A lot more teams are going to start using what Tampa used. That two high safety set on Mahomes and crew, forcing Mahomes to throw everything underneath. And it's really going to show if he's overpaid or not. Because in the Super Bowl, he couldn't throw it deep because they had those two safeties lurking.
No,
And
it's not that they couldn't throw it deep. They went away from what they're used to doing with Tyreek Hill. If you run him right across the middle, wide open, there's no one that's going to catch him. It's a foot race touchdown.
In a two high safety set, you take everything out over the top. The Chiefs cannot play short ball.
Dude, if you get Tyreek Hill in any open space, it's easy. He's gone. You ain't going to catch him.
That theory has been proven wrong.
You could triple cover him. You could triple cover him. You could double cover him. You are not going to catch that man.
Well, it seemed like to me he disappeared in the second half of the last Super Bowl. With them
got shut out.
Any team will find a way to stop the receiver. Look how it. Kelsey was getting catches, but he wouldn't get the deep catches. They sacrificed taking out Tyreek and gave up Kelsey.
If you are a team outside of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and you're coming in and you see
copycat league.
The first thing you're going to do is you're going to start freaking out because there's not a defense one in the NFC outside of Tampa that can stand toe-to-toe with the big giant known as the Kansas City Chiefs.
First of all, it's a copycat league. It's been that way for 40 years or more, hasn't it, Chris?
When
teams found out how to stop Montana and Ross, everybody else picked up on it.
Every team has tried to do what Tampa does, and they just can't do it.
They needed to be shown how to do it. Now that they know how to do it.
And it's just going to be like it was this year. Kansas City's going to go out. They're going to run all over their division. They're going to be back in the playoffs and possibly back in the Super Bowl.
No.
Because now they're throwing – because Mahomes can't be stopped. You can't get a sack on the man because he's going to find a way to get the ball down.
I'm gonna bring this up. Who killed Russell Wilson's career in his second year as a starting quarterback? Chris? Who beat the Seahawks in Russell's second year?
Oh, in Super Bowl, I thought it was wasn't that Brady and the Patriots that last second?
Same thing. And same thing happened to Kansas City last year. I bet you $5 the commissioner's going to run away from him because the commissioner was sold on Russell Wilson until Tom Brady beat him. Now he won't be sold on overrated Mahomes.
I doubt
Mahomes is not overrated. He's a good quarterback, but he can get arrogant at times. If you want to go with overpaid, go with Dak in Dallas.
Go up there to Kirk Cousins up there in Minneapolis.
Dak hasn't won him. They may be moving on from him.
And Seattle just got more dangerous, guys. Seattle just got more dangerous. They're extending Tyler Lockett.
Yeah.
That's a good move.
Lockett. Not only is it a good move, it may shut Russell up from trade demand. Because I think Russell looked at that backfield and says, I have no running back behind me.
See, here's the problem. That everybody says Patrick Mahomes is overrated. No, he's not. He knows how to play football. He knows how to win games.
First of all,
no one around who can stop him. You don't like it, stop him, and they can't stop him.
First of all, I didn't like Patrick in college, just like I didn't like Baker in college. But I love Kyler, and Chris knows how I am. When I support a player, I'll ride them out.
Yeah, but who changed your mind on Cam Newton?
I had liked Cam, I just wasn't sold on him. And it was
Who changed your mind on Cam?
And then TJ changed my mind on TV.
I did. When I told you to watch an Auburn Alabama game.
I wasn't sold on him at first, and I felt like Carolina gave up on him.
Cam needs weapons in New England.
Them dogs practices.
You know where I wish Cam would have went? Denver.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Who do y'all think is the top receiver right now in the NFL?
Hollywood Brown. Easy.
He's nothing more than a number 2.
That's where you're wrong.
No, that's Chris. If he was a number 1, would they be signing threats to his position?
Nope. Who do you think it is, Mr. Anderson?
It's a toss-up for me. I've got to look and say, when healthy, we know Julio. Big game. Really, Julio has always been my favorite. But I think I'm going to go down to Tampa. Because I love Mike. I loved Mike in college.
So
Evans for me. Yeah, and then Landry at 2.
I'm going with Michael's running mate.
Goodwin.
Chris. Good one.
Godwin, yeah, he's a good one.
I'm going with him first.
It's
here's
easy.
the logic. Here's the logic behind what the Ravens are doing. They're signing all these receivers because they don't think Wood is a number 1. If he was their lockdown number 1, and they're also looking at Antonio now. If he comes in, he's going to be their number 1, and then whoever else they sign at Sammy Watkins will be 2. And then they're telling Hollywood that they trust Duvernay more than they do him. Because Devin Duvernay last year, when they needed that big catch, he was always there. It's a classic case.
Actually, what you do is you trade Duvernay. You get him out of Baltimore. Trade him completely. And then you just turn to Boykin and you turn to Hollywood.
Miles is no longer there. Miles is gone. Miles is getting ready to be gone. Jaleel Scott's already gone.
Then what you just do is you turn to Hollywood. That's all you need to do.
He's not good in big games. That's the issue. And once Lamar gets his money, the next one that's going to get paid after Lamar is it's going to be the one that produces the second most. And Lamar's favorite targets is tight end.
That's why you make Lamar throw it to everybody. You take Andrews out of the playbook.
You don't, because without Andrews, Lamar will be nothing.
You take Mark Andrews, you turn him into a blocking tight end, and you make him use the receivers.
And then Mark Andrews leaves in free agency. You've got to look at why, because Hollywood's been hurt his first 2 years. He's had the toe injury and he's had the shin injury. So this could be a situation where they're saying Hollywood can't stay healthy.
They won't get rid of Brown.
He may lose it.
Get rid of Brown.
No, he may lose his spot as the number 1 until he can stay healthy. That's what they're thinking. They're going to when he gets healthy, they're going to earn that. He's going to have his spot. That's no question, isn't it, Chris? But right now he's
No.
making that pick. Go ahead.
Hollywood can make the catches, but like you said, he's been slowed down. Hollywood has to prove to me that he can stay healthy for one season and make the catches. Hey,
But what separates?
I do like Hollywood. You can ask Justin when they drafted Hollywood. What was my exact words?
I thought it was a little too high, though. I thought it was a little too high to draft him in the first round.
It wasn't too high. It was actually perfect.
Because he wasn't even the best receiver in his class.
And my second favorite receiver, I would say, he got a new quarterback this year. I think Justin might agree with me. T.Y. Hilton.
Carson, new number, new quarterback, same old scheme that Carson knows best. Carson knows Frank likes scheme.
Yep.
They're going to win. I'm going to tell you this. You guys were discussing the AFC South winners a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's going to be the Titans.
No, I'm going horseshoe because of Carson Wentz until they get a quarterback in Nashville.
Who cannot stay healthy?
But he's in a system that he knows. That's all that matters.
He's blocked by the Colts.
Oh, you complained about no. Indy has one of the best offensive lines in the game. I talked to Chris about this when it happened with T.Y. Hilton staying put. He signed a 1-year deal with a lifetime option. You don't turn that down, do you, Chris?
Nope.
Because
they're not even going to make it a run. They're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, they will. They won. They missed. They didn't. They should have made the playoffs last year if it wasn't because of the Week 17 fumble by Marlon Mack, which will not be starting this year. They have done confirmed Jonathan Taylor will be the starting running back for the Colts.
It really doesn't matter what you do in that team. They'll miss the playoffs at least 4 games.
The AFC North. The AFC North is fighting up.
The North is a toss-up. Which Baker do we get?
I'm not saying Cleveland's going to be the threat. I'm going to say Cincinnati's going to be the threat.
Cincinnati, they're making moves.
If they was healthy, do you think they would have been fighting for the division?
No. That division belongs to the Ravens, and it always will belong to the Ravens.
No, it won't, D. You've got to understand. Until the Ravens
don't have a chance. The Bengals will never have a chance. And
until the Ravens learn to develop their own players. Chris knows where I'm going with it. If you look back, even going back to the 60s, and even with the Packers and Bears in the 40s and 50s, what were they known for, Chris? In-house talent. They built their team from within.
I do agree with D that the Ravens are going to be a threat in the division. But when people figure out Lamar, that's why I'm saying he needs someone to teach him how to throw and when to throw.
That's just the thing. Teams cannot stop Jackson. Tennessee only got lucky to do it 1 year, and then we stomped their asses this year.
Again, Chris, what has always carried Baltimore? What side of the ball?
The defense.
When their defense shows up, Lamar performs. But when their defense doesn't show up, it's never going to change.
Baltimore's starting to build offense first. They're going away from the defense. We're turning to offense now.
No, it's never going to change. The identity of the team is built through the city.
Right now, Right now, top 5 NFL teams. Who do you got?
Ravens, Bears, Cardinals,
Bears with what quarterback?
um,
Not Mitchell, because he's backing up Josh Allen.
Eagles, Falcons. That's your top 5.
And I can promise you this: if the Bears trade up to 4, they won't take Justin Fields if he's still there, because they're biased against black quarterbacks.
Justin, your top
That's your
5.
top 5 team.
Well, okay. Tampa, you got to put the champs there until they lose. A lot of people may disagree, but my second team has the reigning MVP on it. Because I've learned not to bet against Rodgers over the years. Chris knows where I'm going with the Rodgers situation. You think they're down and out. And then you have Baltimore. Can't,
Let's let Justin get his top 5 in because then I'll get mine in.
I got Baltimore at 3 because I need to see what they're going to do in the draft. And that's a lenient number 3 because I'm going to put Kansas City at 5. And then I think at number 4, I'm going to put Las Vegas just because of the moves they've made.
I agree with 2 of yours. Your top 2, Tampa and Green Bay. But the next 3, I think I'm going to mess with a little bit. Everybody thinks I'm going to put New Orleans in the top 5 with Breeze retired. No. I agree with D. I'm going with Arizona at number 3 for one reason. Justin, which receiver did they get? AJ Green. So with Hopkins out there and AJ, Kyler's going to have some weapons to throw to. I still think the NFC West runs through Arizona this year. Number 4 is another NFC West team I'm putting out there. I'm putting San Francisco out there.
Yeah.
That defense, and if they could get them a couple veteran receivers, and with the running back.
The only issue I have with them is their quarterback position.
Yeah, Jimmy G.
He can't stay healthy.
Yeah. And number 5, I disagree with Vegas out there, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Number 5, Darrell and I talked about this earlier. I'm going to put the Chargers there. Because I think it's shock to use their
Now, I'm going to back you up on something, like Chris. When you put the Chargers in the number 5, they did something that most people thought could never be done. Justin Herbert.
They beat Kansas City.
Beat Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City.
Okay. Yeah. The only reason I put Vegas, Chris, you can agree with me. If Vegas had a defense, they'd be in everybody's top 5. No. They can sling with the best of them. At least top 10.
They can sling with the best, but if you can't sling with the rest, then you're done. If you want to go old school gunslingers, if you guys want to go old school gunslingers, look at Tampa.
And Tampa's about to add another receiver.
Fitzgerald.
King Larry.
Yeah, I've been reading on that, hearing on that. I haven't seen if they finalized it yet.
My problem is how is Larry Fitzgerald going to help Tampa Bay when they have Mike Evans and Godwin? That's all you need.
Leadership.
Not Bruce just Arians, that. How tall is Larry?
He's a physical red zone threat. So a lot of times, what you could do is you could take Evans out in the red zone and put Godwin at number 1.
You bring in Larry. You don't give him the number 1 spot. You put him in the slot. And you keep him in the slot. Number 1 spot stays to Mike Evans. Number
But
2
in the-
stays with Godwin. 3
Evans
will
is
be
number
Gerald.
2. Evans is number 2. Godwin's number 1. And then they just re-sign Tom's favorite tight end.
Yeah, Gronkowski is coming back.
So, Chris, can I add on to what you were saying about Larry in the red zone?
Yeah.
In a situation where you have Evans, who's extremely physical from the 20 in, and then you have Larry throughout his whole career, there's not one slot corner in the red zone that wants to guard number 11. And then you have Gronk on the other side.
Do with Tampa. You bring in Larry, he is primarily slot receiver only. He does not get to line up out wide. He stays in slot.
Well, a lot of times with Larry, Larry through his career moves around. And what Bruce Arians does with his teams is he rotates the receivers.
I would lock him down at slot receiver. He does not get to rotate but the slot spots. That is it.
No, the way Tom wants it is he wants to play. If you look at his New England days, and Chris could back me on this, how many times was Edelman listed at number 1 and lined up in the slot?
A lot.
Because it's a mismatch.
Number 1s end up in the slot sometimes for a reason. Hold on 1 second. I'm going history here. Justin knows where I'm heading. Number 80 for San Francisco.
That's not the only one I can think of. How about Tim Brown, number 81 for Oakland.
Number 82, San Francisco.
Yes, because Jerry, you put your best hands in the slot in the red zone because that's the last place.
Didn't the Bills use BB like that?
Not only did the Bills, you don't forget Tim Brown and the rotation receivers Oakland had.
You're talking about track team 4 with the Raiders with Gall, Ishmael, Brown, and Jets.
And all of them played slot really well. And I think the one that really I was thinking about this the other day. If there's one receiver I never wanted to see in the slot because of his body size at 6'5" would be Megatron. Because no slot corner's going to want to face him because he has a good 3 inches over him.
Well, there is one corner, but I think that could go against half of
the team we were talking about in the 80s with I call the track team Raiders. They each ran a 4-40, I think it was a 4-3 or better. And still had skins because we're deep in.
There's one guy that used to play for Carolina, I know, that could stop half of these receivers y'all playing or talking about, and that's Josh Norman. Because he will sit there and get physical and knock you off your route to make you run his route and then stop you behind the line of scrimmage.
Here's the thing. Jerry doesn't need – all Jerry needs to do – Jerry's got arguably the best hands of all time.
Because, I mean, that's what they said about Odell Beckham Jr., but when he faced Josh Norman, Norman got in the head. Norman played mind games, and thus he had Odell Beckham where he wanted.
Norman, Chris knows, you want to fight cornerbacks with me? There's not a current corner that can ask Jerry Rice this. Back in the 90s when who joined the Niners, Jerry hated lining up against him in practice, Chris. Because every time he did, every time Montana
could it be prime time Deion Sanders? See, Rising hated showing up against him. That was his former teammate.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is
they made each other better. Josh Norman made nobody better.
Today's game, you have to be absolutely physical at the corner.
I disagree with that. Okay, if you look at Jalen Ramsey.
if y'all want to talk about cornerbacks, let's put Ramsey in there.
Jalen
Ramsey?
Ramsey is a physical corner.
No, he's a lockdown corner like Revis was.
He is physical. I've seen that
He
man.
took- I
I've seen
think
that
you
man.
for bringing.
Be physical top-
Thank you, Chris, for bringing that up. Because there's not many corners today that can take one whole side of the field away.
All right,
Throughout
guys.
the history-
Hydro just texted me and said, "Are we ready to finish?" I think.
Yep.
I think we are. Yeah, I think we are. We talked about everything.
I think so.
Producer, any questions or comments in the chat?
Not really.
This show must have not done too good then.
That happens sometimes.
All right, Hyder. Final thoughts, everyone.
Go for it, Justin.
Final thoughts. Don't forget to watch our producer Hydro's show tomorrow night and Joe's before that.
Yep.
And don't forget Devin's Saturday.
Well,
Hey,
Wednesday too.
Wednesday and Saturday.
I know this may not sit well with a couple of Braves fans in here, but the Braves need to get bullpen help and get it fast. Because
Braves need
those
what?
situations, if they don't get bullpen help fast, those situations that happen with Philly are just going to continue to happen. And when it happens in the playoffs, Chris, what happens?
That was not on bullpen. That was on the ump.
No, if the bullpen locked the game down, go ahead, Chris.
He's right. If the bullpen would have held it down, then that guy would have never been up to the plate. But it was a blown call. We've seen blown calls all year.
Yeah.
If Joe was here, he could have said everybody's favorite word about the umps. You're fired.
Trust me, he'd fire every umpire dating back to 1975.
He would have fired
the
last
team-
night's umps. They're blind as all hell. They've been fired
Well-
on field.
I guess I'll talk to you goons later.
Yep. See you.
See you, Justin.
See ya. All right. Well, I guess we're gonna end this.
Yeah, go ahead and do the outro.
So, well, you gotta say who we're sponsored by. So,
We are sponsored by Sports Magnet Podcasting. Catch this guy over here to my left, Mr. Hatter, Tuesday, Saturday, and Wednesday, and a plus tonight because he is my producer. So, you know,
yeah,
I'm Chris's producer. Catch the guy to my right with me every night at Monday,
every Monday. Yeah.
every Monday night, 8 o'clock. Big fella, you got anything to say there, big guy?
No, it's just it was a fun show tonight. And, I figured the producer disappeared. I got him a sub.
I didn't get me a
Hey,
sub,
we
but you
need a
know,
referee. We
I
a
need
referee for
to
tonight's
get
show.
that. I need to definitely get that referee shirt because I was hearing most of
Hey.
it. So,
We're going to JC Friday. Does me and Larry. I'm like, you want to try to pick you one up at Dick's?
And I would
Well.
like to thank Sports Magnet Broadcasting, Devin and Joe. Thank you again for letting me have mine and Christopher show every Monday night. Thank you, Hyder, for producing this every Monday night.
yeah.
When you don't even have to, but you know.
Okay. Well, I don't have to. Then it won't be on here.
Oh, come on. I'm joking. Mr. No Days Off.
Well, I can, take a day off. I mean, I don't.
No. You get Friday. You get Friday and Sunday, big guy.
I can take off Monday.
Monday through
I can.
Saturday.
I can play. I can play sick.
Come on. You're fired. I'm just kidding.
Well, all right, bye.
No, you stay with me. I'm not in a good mood now. You're staying with me.
I'm staying with you. Okay, well.
I think that's everything. We can go off live now.
When he said he was like he was talking to me.
Oh well. He can always. I can leave. It's fine.
What was your favorite match on Mania?
Oh, I didn't. I'll talk about that tomorrow. I don't want to talk about it. I'll talk about it tomorrow.
There's a couple matches I fell asleep that I didn't get to watch. I didn't get to watch the women's match, Sasha, and I had to do something. Mom and Dad missed the AJ Styles tag match.
Oh, trust me. Me and Justin will probably go at it tomorrow.
Are we ready?
He said we weren't going to watch it because Drew got screwed.
I know, but we're gonna. Me and him will probably go at it tomorrow.
Are we good? Are we ending now? Are we good?
Yeah, I think so. So
This is Darrell reporting from outside my house. Bye. Have a
peace
good.
out.
Will be 2 hours.